and we'll just manually zone with the marquee tool. The marquee tool? The mark tool? I have no idea what it's called. The tool that I'm using. There we go. Does that work? I'm gonna hope that these form correctly. If not, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Hello everyone, my name is Caesar. Hope you're having a great day today. Welcome back to City Skylines 2 into Highland Springs. Last time we got a very beginning to our city here, which I'm kind of happy with. Obviously not everything turned out to be perfect, but it was a good start and I'm ready to continue with it. So the last thing I wanted to do last episode was kind of deploy the rest of our city services, but as well as having a balanced budget. And if I do all those city services with already a deficit, we're going to be in a world of hurt. So the first thing we need to do is make a little bit of money. So what I was thinking, I was seeing if the old strategy still works, right? If we go to our points here, nope, not there. We go to our progression points and we look at electricity and we get a geothermal power plant. Now, not everybody uses these because they're a little bit massive, but I find that they're very easy to make money with at the very beginning of the game. Did I even get the geothermal? What did I unlock? No, I did not get the geothermal. That's embarrassing. Let's go. Oh, geothermal's in there. So let's go 1 and then we'll go 2. Now with this, it's pretty much it's pretty cheap to keep running. I know it looks expensive, but like compared to how much money you make off of it, it's really worth it. So we don't have any tiles here, but if we place this here, we can make good money off of it. It's been a few updates since I've done this. I actually don't know if this is going to work all right. And if it doesn't, it's fine. We'll figure it out, right? But I wanted to see if it does. So the way I want to do this is kind of grid out in this direction to make sure we're leaving room for everything. Now we're doing, I think it's 15 by 25 grid. So it's 25 over. And just like this, and then we'll just keep pulling it this way until we get to where we need to, which should be just here. There we go. That way our grid stays intact and we don't ruin it by doing what we're doing here, which, you know, obviously is the ultimate goal. Now with this part, it's kind of a bit tricky because I don't really know what to do to connect this all the way so it makes ultimate sense, but I know we need to. So let's go ahead and just finish connecting that up. And I think we'll do one more just to play it safe, at least to help with my OCD. This is not necessary. It's not necessary to do this, but for me, it's just a little bit easier. Yeah, we'll go ahead and, okay, there we go. See, because now we have a road here. And if we have a road technically like right here, for example, right now I don't feel as weird just running a road straight across here. Because I feel like that could actually be more realistic than, you know, whatever I had before. I could twist this thing a little bit slightly with move it and try to get it perfectly, but I can't be bothered. So now we have to connect this to our power grid. And I think we might run into an issue. Never mind. We might be good here. Okay. But now what we need to do is go underground and run these cables. Yeah, these are the power lines. We'll run this cable pretty much all the way under our city. All the way here, and then we're going to connect it through our, is it worth doing it through the substation? I don't think so. I think it's better to bring it above ground and then connect it there, so we'll do that. Let's go ahead and pull out our bulldozer tool. Let's try to connect it up. So if I do that and I just go like this and then I page up and then I can connect this just like that, technically now we should be producing power. And let's just double check this. Yeah, we're starting to produce a lot of power, which is going to be outstanding. Now, if we give it a second, usually what this does is it balances itself out and it starts making a good amount of money. At first, we're going to be bleeding like crazy, which is expected because we're, you know, there we go. Now we're selling water or power, excuse me. So now we're making a bunch of money with it. So that's kind of an easy way to balance your budget there if you don't know. If you are concerned about it at the beginning. That's usually how I do it. Gives me a nice balanced budget and I never go in the negatives again. You start making a ton of money. Yeah, okay, so we'll just leave that alone and now we're making money so we don't have to worry about it. Which means now we can afford city services. So previously we placed our modern medical clinic here, which is completely fine. It's just obviously very tiny and it's not going to hold us down forever. So we'll probably leave room for an upgrade in the future to upgrade to a bigger hospital or something. But one thing we don't have now is a bit of, what was it? Oh, we don't even have fire station and police station unlocked yet. I guess we can look at education then. I don't really know where we would put our first education campus, but the cemetery seems kind of ominous to me. Let's see. I guess we could utilize this block here since it's like a giant block and it's like very out of place because of the cemetery. We could very easily utilize that space and get rid of these apartments and put the apartments over here or something. I feel like that could work. Or we do the more logical thing and don't destroy a bunch of houses for a school, and we grid this up a little bit. Now, why is that all weird? I always struggle with these broken grids. I never understand why these things happen. There we go. Then we can connect right up. And we got a working grid, which is fantastic, but we're not going to use it anyway because there's going to be a bunch of schools here. Now, we have to look through a bit of our assets here because I don't really know which ones we would use. The regular elementary schools is cool, yes, but it's a bit large. It feels kind of off. I feel like it doesn't work. Well, this one only holds 800 people. This one holds 2,000. 6,200, 2,500. I feel like the small elementary school is going to be the way to go. I say that, but then these schools fill up quick. If you know anything about these schools in like City Skylines 2 or yeah, this game specifically, education's a bit of a hassle sometimes. So it's kind of one of those things. We can always do the classroom extensions and things like that, but I don't think we need it yet. Now I should probably leave room for a high school somewhere else and just do the elementary school here and then build a little campus off of it. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll use Move It to kind of centralize it a little bit so we don't have to pay for the move. Like this or something. Okay, maybe a little bit more. And then as we get the gym extension, we'll do a little bit of path work and put the gym over here or something. Do a little bit of pre-built park, and I think it'll just be fantastic. Now we got to unlock a couple of different things to do all of that. And what we have to do, if we go to education, we can go into, it's actually not education, I think it's in parks, which we can't even get there until level 4. So we're not doing that today, I guess. Everything I want to do is just not there. All right, let's figure out where we want to put our high school. Urban elementary school, small high. There we go, high schools. Okay. I assume if we just go with like 800 capacity, 400 capacity. I think the 800 capacity would just make more sense, but it's so massive. We'll go ahead and go with the smaller one, and we'll just utilize this block here for the high school. We'll just line it up on this road instead. Okay, level 3, we got some money, which is fantastic. We're playing on easy, so the economy is going to be pretty easy to work with. So I'm not really worried about money right now because we'll be fine long term, especially how much money we're still making. We'll be okay. All right, we'll go ahead and connect this up here. Draw that right there. And then this should be making it a little bit easier. Now, I really want to build out the full school, but I don't think we're going to have room for any of that, which is kind of a shame. Which in reality, instead of education, I should be focusing on a little bit of industry because right now we have no industry. And I guess we could use a little bit of the space we have over here. Just put in some initial industry and just tear this down later. Now, obviously, we still have a massive demand for residential because we don't have many houses. This is our entire population right here. Other than a couple of row homes and then a couple of stores over there and a couple of apartments here, there's really not much to it. But it's one of those things where I'm kind of playing it slow because I don't want to overdo it and overwhelm the system. And I'm terrible with traffic, so it's one of those things where I don't want to destroy the whole city with it. We'll go ahead and do that connection there. Should be plentiful. And then we'll go ahead and just grab our residential zoning, like the North American stuff, and we'll just manually zone with the marquee tool. The marquee tool? The mark tool? I have no idea what it's called. The tool that I'm using. There we go. Does that work? I'm going to hope that these form correctly. If not, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. Just like that. And then we'll grab our eyedropper tool, grab a random house from down here. Eyedrop it up there. And come on. Eyedrop it up there. There we go. Now they're actually facing the right way and that'll provide some more housing. At least I hope so. There's still a lot of low residential demand, which I don't really understand why. I guess we don't have that much housing to begin with, so I guess it's expected that people are going to want houses to live in. Let's go ahead and go with something like this, so we can fix the zoning, force it onto the main street. Ooh, hello? Why is that like a half grid? Why isn't that like a full... I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to zone. Just going to zone and call it a day, because I can't be bothered. There we go. And then we'll just delete these right there and call it a day. We'll just put in a couple of trees. I think it'll look fine eventually. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Now I'm leaving room in the alleyways because I want to do some path work in the middle of these blocks. I feel like making things walkable is going to be a very good thing long term. People are getting happier. It looks like the only thing they're angry about is the high crime rate, which makes sense because we don't have a police station, even though we have it unlocked now. Small police stations probably looks fantastic for this small campus, and I think the police station belongs better on the main road here to have access to faster routes. I think we'll put it on this road here so they can come out, make a right, and they're on the main road, just to keep traffic on the side roads instead of the main road. We'll go with something like that, and then we'll switch over to our fire station. There it is. And I think if we just get like the small firehouse, I think we'll be in a good spot with that for now. Fire isn't really a big thing in this game, which I'm glad, because City Skylines 1, all my cities were on fire all the time. And that was always just a nightmare. All right, so we have this, and it doesn't look like much, but we're gonna go around and do some vegetative stuff work later, make this look like a nice little park, and I think it's gonna look fantastic. Ooh, collision over here. I think it's our first car accident. What are we waiting for? Driver. Police was dispatched. Let's see where he's at. There he is. Now I wish they would add a bit more animation so it's like an actual scene going on here, but it's literally the car pulls up and they drive off. That's literally it. Like what's the point? All right, we'll get some power going into here because these alleyways these alleyways aren't actually connected to the exit, which is bad. Someone probably already saw that and called me out on it, but I just haven't seen it yet. Let's see. If I go to roads, small roads, alleyways, and then just connect this to there. I don't want the crosswalks, though. That's what I don't want here. So what if I think it's road services. There we go. We can get rid of these crosswalks like that. I guess we could leave the one there. And then we will connect this out here as well. Do we want this road connecting to the main exit out here, though? I feel like it's fine. I feel like it won't be that... I feel like it won't be that big of a problem. So we'll go with something like this. Okay, now we need it to connect, but that's going to be a problem. So if we go back into our road services and we disable the lights, and then we disable the crosswalks going across, that's perfectly fine. Now traffic keeps flowing here, and that's no problem at all, which is good. Hopefully traffic doesn't start taking this road too much. I know it's like public services will take it, but other than that, I don't really want heavy traffic in here. So hopefully they stay out. If not, I'll scream. All right, let's look at some trees now and see what kind of trees we can fill in. I keep recording at 2 a.m. It keeps happening. I don't know why. I'm just bad with time management. Well, I say that, but then like usually around 10 p.m. is when I get a little bit of free time from like personal stuff. So that's usually when I start to exercise, and I'll exercise for like an hour and a half sometimes, depending on what I'm feeling. Obviously all home workouts and stuff like that with a couple of different machines that I have. And I don't end up finishing that till, 11:30, 12 sometimes. By the time I take a shower, because I feel gross by the end of that, and have something light to eat for dinner, I'm already just exhausted. So then instead of just going to bed, though, I just force myself to stay up a little bit longer just to record and edit a video real quick. And I think it's just it's just a habit at this point to record at this time. Even when I recorded before, when technically all I was doing was YouTube for a bit, just to see if I could pull it off or whatever, and I had nothing else going on, I would straight up just stay up till this time just to record every night. I don't know, something about the nighttime vibe is super nice to play video games in, and it's peace and quiet, and you don't have to deal with other people, you know what I mean? And it's not really dealing with people, it's just there's less distractions overnight when the world's asleep. I guess I'll put it that way. Makes it easier to kind of do your own thing and not feel rushed or anything like that by obligations or anything like that. That's kind of all I wanted to do for that. But I think that feels pretty cool. Again, blocking off a lot of that noise from the main road here and then opening up into our public services campus. It's nothing special, but I think it gets the job done. We're having a problem with, what is this, lack of workers? Lack of labor. Yeah, okay, we need to focus on residential expansion. We haven't really done any of that, and we're going to start falling behind very, very fast if we don't. Best way to make money in City Skylines 2 is to get a bunch of population. So let's try to focus on that right now. So I think what we'll do for this apartment district a little bit, we're going to increase how many apartments there are, but I want to be careful by not overdoing it, because then it gets to the point where we have too many people, right? And now with the 6th lane, what I can do is do dedicated turn lane for this. So if I go to my traffic lane connector and I go to this one here, I can turn off, for example, remove unsafe and remove U-turns. That makes it a little bit easier. And then I can just remove this one right there, or sorry, add that one back in and then force that to be a right turn only. So now people that want to turn in here could just go in there, and then we will force anybody there onto that lane. I guess they'll do it automatically, right? So we don't need to do that. And here they can go right or they can go left, and that's fantastic, which is exactly what I wanted. And now that should help traffic flow a little bit easier without me having to really worry about it. So now what I want to do, now that we have a ton of parking, I can squeeze in a bunch of low density businesses, which I think is going to be fantastic. And I don't want to do massive businesses. Maybe like, okay, before we do this, let's get a bit of our I think it looks fantastic. I think we'll leave this with like the with like that actual grass there. I think it'll look good. And we keep unlocking like gas stations as like signature buildings for some reason. I didn't know that was a thing. How do I even see those? Seasoned, that's a restaurant. Where are my gas stations? These are all similar in style. I can build something out of this stuff. Oh. Oh. Hold on. Place, and place. Okay, just keep unlocking stuff. And then if I place something like this, for example. So now, are these all kind of the same vibe? They are. What that tells me is I can build a little bit of a business center and squeeze. I think when I do office buildings, I'll squeeze a lot of these buildings in. All right, for now we'll just bulldoze because there's no reason for us to keep them at all. And then I will go ahead and move this gas station because I want the gas station. And I feel like just putting it at the edge of town just kind of makes sense. That's where you see gas stations usually in the US, just off of freeways. I guess it's not the only place, but it's a common place that you see that you see gas stations. It's just off of the freeways and stuff like that. That's perfect. You can get off, make a right, turn around, go to the gas station. That's perfect. There we go. We have a working gas station in town. Maybe not perfect, but it at least works. Cool. I'm not even going to paint it. I think it looks cool the way it is. There we go. Things are starting to fill out. You can start seeing traffic start to pile in here. And I think over time, as these businesses upgrade and people are moving in, we're going to see a lot more movement in this area. But it's not really meant to be high density or anything like that. So I think it's just perfect the way it is. There we go. I really like how this area is filling out, though. Kind of blends in nicely with this. It kind of keeps like a custom vibe over here on this side and keep the grids over here. It was like this would be the nicer area to live. But then again, you're living by a school, so who knows? Maybe it'd be worse to live over here because of all the screaming children. I don't know what I was saying anymore. Okay, we'll get large parks, we'll get sport parks, and we'll start building things out. Now with our sport, oh, we need the large sport parks for these. Oops, let's go back in here. Large sport parks, and we'll get it. We'll get tourism unlocked too. Why not? So one thing we'll start to look at is education, of course. We started this at the beginning of the episode a little bit, but we didn't. Oh. I didn't realize how big that football field was, if I'm being honest. Wow, that is massive. Okay, so we'll squeeze the gym. Can we put the gym here? Can I, like, rotate this? Seems like it wants to be rotated, but I can't because it snaps onto that building. So if I get rid of that, and then I go back into our school here and grab our upgrade, and then we just put it in where it needs to go, which would be probably there. And then we can like custom build this area a little bit to make room for what I need. Oh, this goes uphill. Oh, I didn't realize how how daunting of a hill that was. It's not too bad, but it's also like not the best. I think just cul-de-sac in this might be the best way to go. But eventually we'll be expanding this way, but I don't think we'll have more. It's just a lot of flat land here this way too. Just kind of not use. This gives me a lot to think about. I don't really know what I want to do with this. I think what I need to do though, just so I can at least start working on something, is open up a couple of these tiles like that. And I think it'll be okay. We're on easy, so we don't have to worry about tile upkeep, thank God, because I'd be completely broke right now. The geothermal power plant, not to say glitch, but like using that to make your income smooth, still works when you're paying for tile upkeep. Let's see. Something like this. As long as that doesn't bridge, I think we'll be okay. And then if we simply guide. Okay, we'll back up a little bit. Oh, okay, that's not a little bit at all. That was like the entire way. We'll go ahead and go up to the edge there, just like that. And then we will do our complex curve road tool. I think it'll be good. So then we can go click, click, and then click it in. I think that's fantastic. It changes up the grid a little bit at least. Don't know if this would be feasible in real life, but it at least covers our bases on what I wanted to do with the area. Maybe something like that anyway. Now with this, I just want to get the gymnasium in, make sure there's enough resources for the kids here. Now this is an elementary school, so I want to keep this as close as I can to the main building, because you wouldn't want a bunch of kids wandering off into a different, like across the street or something to get to a gym or something, right? You'd want it like right there. Ooh, got another petrol station, or petrol station? Gas station. There we go. Let's go to filters. Okay, is this not gonna work? Okay, that's not what I needed. Is it not toolbox? I have no idea. What if we just move the whole thing? Okay, we can. Okay, cool. I guess I don't need to move the whole thing. I just need to move the extension. How do I move the extension? Is that a thing I can do? Let's see. Can I just grab this? I feel like there has to be a way to do this. There's no way to just grab that. I'm gonna assume there is, and I just don't know how to do it. and just move on from it for now. But I think it'll be okay. So now we're gonna quickly go through and just kind of do the same thing we've been doing with everything else, is making sure this place looks nice and pretty. Fantastic, look at that. It's not even anything special, it's just trees spammed all over the place. Population is still under 1,000, and I said I want to get to 2,000. So you're gonna watch me zone the heck out of this place, and we're gonna double our population. So see you in a couple of minutes. We're pretty much set to what I wanted to do for the episode. I said I was going to double the population. We've only gone up by like 400. Which is, you know, that definitely something, but I'm not mad at it because I think we spent a lot of time doing things we should have done last episode, which is kind of my fault for running out of time. But I really wanted to just kind of get the episode out, make sure I wasn't late on the upload. But now I'm a couple of episodes ahead with, you know, the Anno Pax Romana episode that came out on Monday. So that kind of gave me a little bit of leeway to film a couple of City Skylines 2 episodes. So I'm going to film this one and then film. So right now it's Saturday night, technically. Sunday morning, I guess you want to see it that way. So I have time to record for Friday. Still a few more days, right? So I'll be completely fine. But I want to get as many episodes as I can ahead. So in case something comes up, I'll have extra videos. So I don't have to just take days off and things like that. But definitely going to record whenever I feel like it, not whenever I feel like I have to. So it'll be one of those things. Gonna go just a couple more trees in here. It's gonna bother me to not finish this. There we go. There's no rhyme or reason to where I'm placing these trees. I'm just kind of clicking on a tree and placing a couple and then switching trees real quick. But I think that kind of fills in the area because now if you go from like certain angles, you can see trees off in the distance and it looks really cool. I just hope everything works all right. How's traffic seems to be holding up all right. We only have 1,000 people anyway, so traffic's not going to be a problem for a while anyway. It'd be funny if it was a problem already. I'd be like, what are we doing wrong here to have so much traffic problems? But I think we're completely fine. We have a lot of pollution coming from in this area now. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Guess we can we can take a look at our office park next time around, see if we can get some of those custom buildings in. See if I even remember, because I always say something and then I just do something else next episode because I completely forget what I was going to do the previous episode. But today, just to give a little bit of a run of an overview, we built our first public services campus, which is desperate need for employees. We need more population. We have our first education campuses over here with our elementary school. How many people? How many students does this thing have already? Does this not tell you how many students are in here? Am I blind? Oh, clicking on the wrong building. There we go. 82 out of 800, and this one has 100 out of 500, which is fantastic. We'll start cycling students through there too, and it'll be good to go. Now I'm gonna figure out where to get a nice thumbnail. Maybe something like this would be cool. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you very, very soon. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.